What's up guys, welcome to Munchkins Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Munchkins logging in to bring you another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. And welcome back to one of my should you pull videos for Dissidia Opera Omnia, where I give you reasons why you should and should not be pulling for upcoming banners in Opera Omnia. In this video, we are going to take a look at Gau'S events banner, where you have the chance to get his EX and Terra's EX weapon alongside with both their 15 and 35 CP weapon. And the third wheel for this particular banner is going to be Selfie, which you can get her 15 and her 35 CP weapon as well. But before we do start this video, I would just like to gently remind you guys to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It does help with my channel to grow, and of course it helps with the YouTube algorithm as well. So without further ado, let's start this video. Now we'll start this video off with a returning EX weapon, and that is Organics for Terra. This gives her the EX ability called Riot Blade, which is a 3-hit magic brave plus HP attack, and the potency increases as the HP goes down. This does have a slightly slow recast speed, and at 1 out of 3 limit break this increases the brave damage dealt by Riot Blade, and 2 out of 3 this grants Terra a large max brave up that actually lasts for 5 turns, and at 3 out of 3 this will increase the recast speed of Riot Blade. Now let's take a look at the plus variant or the realized version of this weapon. At 0 out of 3 limit break, this will increase the brave potency of Riot Blade and giving it a max brave overflow of 150% and will deal a 50% splash damage to non-targets. At 1 out of 3, this will moderately raise Terra's max brave and slightly raising her attack, and will change her brave attack and brave attack plus to the plus plus variant. This increases the number of brave hits to 6, moderately raising its brave potency and granting its Terra a 3 stacks of magic, which is the unique buff that Terra has, which will have a max of 9 stacks. Now, this will also turn Terra's HP attack and HP attack plus to the plus plus variant, which is going to be a 6-hit magic brave plus HP attack. This again will increase the total brave potency and will have a 120% max brave overflow, and will also grant 3 stacks of magic. And on the 2 out of 3 limit break, this will increase again the recast speed for Riot Blade and will grant Terra the Esper Blood buff for 5 turns when she uses Riot Blade. This also grants 9 stacks of magic for Terra, making it up to the max stacks. And when the quest starts, she will actually have Esper Blood for 5 turns, and again will have a total of 9 stacks of magic at the start of the quest. Now, Esper Blood raises Terra's initial brave attack and max brave overflow limit. At 3 out of 3 when using Riot Blade, this now increases the number of brave hits to 8 and increasing its total brave potency and slightly increasing its max brave overflow limit. This will also turn Terra's HP attack plus plus to dual cast. Now, dual cast is a 6-hit magic brave plus HP attack that is triggered twice. This will increase the total brave potency, slightly increasing the max brave overflow limit. However, this does not grant a magic stacks and will also revert back to the HP attack plus plus after use. Now, the bonus sphere that you are going to be getting for this one is called Critical Base Boost Short. When she's dealing a critical hit, or any of your characters that have this bonus sphere, it will raise the initial brave and max brave of that character by 10% for 3 turns. Okay, so after hearing all this information regarding Terra's EX Plus, how much should you be investing on Terra? Now, it's important to note that she actually doesn't get a rework, since she did get a rework at the start of the 70 era. I would highly suggest you start off at 2 out of 3 for this weapon, only because this is when Terra actually gains access to Esper Blood buff. But not only that, it's where she actually gets 9 stacks of her magic at the start of the quest, which makes sure that you get the plus variant for all her abilities. And not only that, now her EX ability will actually grant a maximum stacks of magic as well. Therefore, after you end up using all your magic stacks, you use your EX, and basically you will have the plus variant for your for her abilities once again. So I really just go at the minimum at least 2 out of 3. And of course, as you guys know, with me, if you already went 2 out of 3, you might as well go 3 out of 3. However, I do have to say that there's really not much addition apart from extra damage when it comes to 3 out of 3. Getting that cap on her max brave now is going to be easy with her EX, whereas before it was really difficult unless you really have someone to brave battery Terra. Because of that 3 hits, it's really not a lot. So this way you can make sure that Terra's EX ability actually gets up there and you can cap on her max brave. And of course, the dual cast gives you extra damage as well. So if you want a little bit more damage, then you can definitely go 3 out of 3 for Terra. Now, as for the closest comparison, I would really put Ace as the closest comparison for Terra. Ace also has a stacking mechanic, whereas it is a little bit different from Terra because Terra actually uses up that stack mechanic. They are kind of similar in a way where basically they're kind of selfish DPS. Obviously Ace is a little bit more supportive, can be, depending on which card you get for his EX, whereas Terra, she's really much of a selfish DPS. And honestly, it was really hard for me to find the closest comparison for Terra because she's one of those OG characters that we had originally. So yeah, she's kind of an old character in terms of Dissidia Opera Omnia, so there's really not much for me to compare her to because, like I said, she is one of those older characters, and if chances are, if you're a new player, you probably have Terra already. Okay, so let's move on to the next character that's getting their EX weapon, which is Gau. Gau will get Force Snail as his EX weapon. This will give him the EX ability called Beast Raid, which is a 3-hit Earth AoE magic brave plus a single target HP attack that is triggered 3 times. This will moderately increase the brave damage dealt to a single target, and the stolen brave can overflow to 120% of his max brave, and will grant him the Feral Child buff for 8 turns. Feral Child, it raises his max brave and his attack. This does have a slightly slow recast speed, and at 1 out of 3 limit break, this will slightly increase the brave damage dealt by Beast Raid. And at 2 out of 3, this will inflict a Earth Resist Down debuff for 4 turns after the first HP attack is triggered. And at 3 out of 3, this will increase the recast speed for Beast Raid. Next, let's take a look at the realized version of this weapon. At 0 out of 3 limit break, this will increase the brave potency of Beast Raid, and will turn his brave attack and his HP attack to the ++ variant for both of them. Now for brave attack ++, this will be a 2-hit Earth Magic brave attack. However, the brave attack plus Life Shaver or brave attack plus Cat Scratch are going to be given priority, and the same thing is applied for the HP attack ++. The HP attack ++ is, however, a Earth Magic brave plus HP attack, and can have an overflow of 120% of his max brave. And again, the ability upgrade priority is given to the Life Shaver or the Cat Scratch version HP attack plus. At 1 out of 3 limit break, this will slightly raise his max brave and his attack, and at 2 out of 3 limit break, when the quest starts, he will have access to his Feral Child buff for 8 turns. And finally at 3 out of 3, this will increase the number of brave hits by 3, and this is exactly just like Irvine's EX upgrade. Basically, it will add 1 extra brave hit for each of the brave plus HP attack for his EX ability. This will again increase the total brave potency of Beast Raid and slightly increasing the max brave overflow limit. The bonus sphere that you are going to be getting for this one is called Full HP Power. When your HP is maxed, this will raise the brave damage dealt by 10%. Now, since Gao is a new character, let's go over his abilities so I can talk to you guys about that priority Brave Attack and HP Attack Plus that is mentioned on his EX Plus. Now let's talk about Life Shaver first, which is his first ability. It is a 2-hit Earth Magic Brave plus HP attack. This restores the HP based on the HP damage dealt up to 15% of the max Brave. This also grants him the Beast Teachings for 3 turns. This will turn his Brave attack and into Brave Attack plus Life Shaver for 3 turns, which is going to be a 2-hit Earth Magic Brave attack, which raises the Brave based on the Brave damage dealt. This will also turn his HP attack to the HP attack plus Life Shaver for 3 turns, which is a Earth Magic Brave plus HP attack and raises the Brave based on the Brave damage dealt. You cannot use the Cat Scratch ability for 3 turns if you do end up using Life Shaver, and Beast Teachings raises his max Brave attack and his speed. Next, let's go over the Life Shaver Extend. So basically this is the level 55 crystal passive that he will be unlocking when you do this. This is basically going to increase the Brave hits to 5 and increasing the total Brave potency, and now the Stolen Brave can overflow up to 150% of his max Brave. Now the HP recovery based on the HP damage dealt is applied to all parties now and extends the duration of Beast Teachings by 3 turns. Also, for the next 3 turns, he will counter all Brave attacks or HP attacks on the party with Counter Life Shaver, which is a 2-hit Earth Magic Brave attack. This raises the party's Brave based on the Brave damage dealt and restores the party's HP based on the Brave damage dealt up to 10% of their max HP. There are also going to be changes to the Brave Attack plus Life Shaver, now increasing its Brave hits to 5 and increasing its total Brave potency. Again, the Brave gain based on the Brave damage dealt is now applied to the entire party. And now for his HP Attack plus Life Shaver, this increases the number of Brave hits to 3 and tremendously increasing the total Brave potency, and now the overflow can go up to 120% of his max Brave. And the Brave gain based on the Brave damage dealt is also going to be applied to the entire party. Now let's take a look at his 15 CP weapon, which is Impact Claw. This basically just increases the Brave potency of Life Shaver and raises the HP restored and HP recovery limit of Life Shaver, and it also improves the effects of Beast Teachings. Okay, now let's take a look at his second ability called Cat Scratch, which is a Earth AoE Magic Brave plus single target HP attack. This will still grant him the Beast Teaching buff for 3 turns and will turn his Brave attack to Brave attack plus Cat Scratch for 3 turns. This is going to be an Earth AoE Magic Brave attack, and his HP attack will turn to HP attack plus Cat Scratch as well for 3 turns. This will be an Earth AoE Magic Brave attack plus a single target HP attack. He cannot use Life Shaver for 3 turns after using Cat Scratch. Beast Teachings once again is just going to raise his max Brave attack and speed. As for the Cat Scratch extension, basically this will increase the number of Brave hits to 3 and increasing its Brave potency. The Stolen Brave can now overflow up to 150% of his max Brave, and again extending the duration of Beast Teachings by 3 turns. And for 3 turns, once again he will counter all Brave attacks or HP attacks on the party with Counter Cat Scratch, which is going to be a 2-hit Earth AoE Magic Brave attack plus a single target HP attack. This will moderately increase the Brave damage dealt to a single target. His Brave attack plus Cat Scratch will increase the number of Brave hits to 3 and will greatly increase its Brave potency, and his HP attack Cat Scratch version will now have a total number of 2 hits for its Brave and increasing its Brave potency again, and the Stolen Brave can overflow up to 120% of his max Brave and will also be dealing a 20% splash damage to non-targets. However, if you do have his 35 CP Tiger Fang, this will increase the Brave potency of Cat Scratch, and moderately increasing the Brave damage dealt to a single target, and it will actually give you a 50% splash damage to non-targets instead of the 20%. This also improves the Beast Teachings buff as well, and you will gain access to the Brave Attack plus Cat Scratch, of course, and the HP Attack Cat Scratch, which will have more Brave potency. So after hearing all this information regarding Gau, how much should you be investing on him? Now, in all honesty, in my opinion, I think you should start off at 1 out of 3 limit break for Gau. Now, you could argue you can probably go 0 out of 3, but he's not really getting anything out of 0 out of 3, and this really bugs me. Why even give him the plus variant for his Brave and HP attack when in all honesty it will be upgraded to the Life Shaver or the Cat Scratch version, which is kind of head scratching. So I honestly went with 1 out of 3 because he does get a slight increase with his max Brave and his attack. So that's the only main reason I went with 1 out of 3 for the minimum. As for the maximum, I think you should go at 2 out of 3 for Gau. This is when he gets his Feral Child buff for 8 turns, which means more attack, more max Brave overflow, and all that. And the main reason I didn't go 3 out of 3 is, again, this is only a slight increase in the Brave hits. You can get more Brave potency out of this, and you can get a slightly max Brave overflow limit, which is not really exciting at all. So that's why I just went with 2 out of 3 for Gau. Now, as for the closest comparisons, I have put here Gau'S and Gau'S. Gau'S is easy. It's basically his EX ability, which is triggered 3 times. That's honestly, there's a thing going on with EX is triggering 3 times, but Gau'S did it first, I guess, so it's the closest thing. Now, I put Gau here instead of 8 because Gau is actually countering for every single party member. Mind you, it only lasts for 3 turns, but it's still quite effective and more identical to what Gau does. What Gau does is basically he'll guard the party member and will do the counter afterwards. Now, Gau doesn't obviously guard the party members, but he does counter. And the reason why I didn't put 8 there overall, because 8 doesn't do this. 8 only counters when someone's targeting him, and 8's counter is a lot stronger than Gau's, because 8 ignores the defense of the enemies, whereas Gau, unfortunately, he doesn't do this. So that's the main reason why I put Gau more than 8 in the comparison. Alright guys, so we're towards the end of this video, and of course I'll give you guys my final thoughts why you should and should not be pulling for this banner. The first one is why you should pull for this is you need a magic DPS. Now, Gau may look like he is some sort of melee DPS, but he is actually a magic DPS, and on this banner it is both Terra and Gau being the magic DPS. Now obviously if you have Ultimisia, Emperor, Renoa, Kuja as your main magic damage dealing counterpart, and then you might as well just pass on this one. Gau is unfortunately not game breaking or anything like that, and you're probably better off using those gems on some other characters if you have an abundance of magic DPSs already. Hint hint, probably go for Aranea. Honestly, that's probably one of the most broken characters that we have right now in Global. So I know she's not a magic DPS, but nonetheless she is a very strong DPS. So if you have an abundance of magic DPS, you can definitely skip this banner. Now the next reason why you should be pulling for this is if you actually need more characters for Dimensions to end. Now this is a repeating factor in this should you pulls, because you need an abundance of characters with upcoming Dimensions End as well. So you just need to make sure you plan for those ahead of time. And of course the Abyss beta, which is going to be removed next month, and we'll probably get a full release very soon. And the final reason why you should be pulling for this really is if you're a big Final Fantasy VI fan, then definitely this banner is probably something that would really encourage you to pull. I mean, Gau, I'm not really a big Final Fantasy VI fan, so I'm not really into this. Like, I don't know a lot of the characters in Final Fantasy VI, believe it or not. So I just don't have the affinity towards the characters. But if you're a big fan, definitely one of the banners to pull for. Now, let's go through the reasons why you should not be pulling, and because it's a little bit different today, at least for this video. So the next reason why you should not be pulling for this banner is you would rather wait for Lulu, which is a much better Imperialer and Elemental buffer as well. So while Gau can use his EX ability to actually put a Earth Imperil or Stone Imperil, whatever you want to call it, it's just he relies too much on that EX. And in all honesty, because it's a slightly slow recast speed, you won't be able to, you know, keep reapplying it as much as you can. Whereas Lulu can definitely put like a Fire Imperil straight away with her abilities 1, and of course I think it's ability 2, where she actually buffs everyone. Now this is an important key moving forward, because having an Imperialer is actually pretty key factor moving forward in terms of clearing chaos fights. Now it's not totally necessary as far as I'm aware, but it does really help, especially with the change that we had recently. If you guys remember, the change happened around the time Gau'S Lost Chapter came out, where basically the weakness, the elemental weakness, takes priority over the resistances. So even though, for example, someone's is resistant to magic and Gau'S uses his EX attack, so basically that dark resistance down debuff will apply over that magic resistance, and Gau'S's EX will pretty much go through. So if you guys are looking for a Imperialer magic DPS as well, in replacement of Gau, if you don't really like Gau's kit, then Lulu is someone that you may be looking forward to. Now the last reason is going to be for Yuri or Penelo, which are coming towards the end of the month with the next Crystal Awakening for Yuri, and Penelo I believe is going to be for Pandemonium's summoning board. So these two characters are probably the most hyped up characters, at least for next month. It's not as big as February, but these two definitely is going to help you clear some chaos stages. Anyway guys, I think that's it for this video. Please do remember to click like and subscribe once again if you haven't already. It does help my channel to grow for every new subscription if you haven't already. And of course, leaving a like in this video is going to help with the YouTube algorithm. Now a quick one before I do go. I know this video is very long, but I do want to address that now that Joseph here is back, if he does ask me to, or if he tells me, because I asked him and I left a comment, and if he does tell me that he is going to be doing this Should You Pull videos back, I will, you know, step back and won't be doing any of these videos further. But if he doesn't, then I'll just keep doing it. The only reason why I did this was because he left, and I thought the community needed another voice when it comes to Should You Pull. So if he does intend to come back and do Should You Pull videos, I'm more willing to actually take a step back and let him do what he do, because he's I think much better at it than I am. So that's the deal. And I know he's gonna do like future polls when I watch his videos. Then it's a little bit different to should you pull. He's going for future pulls. I think he goes months and months ahead of that. So I'll be looking forward to watch that, and hopefully you guys are too. So yeah, that's one announcement that I do have to make on this video. Anyway, make sure to follow me on Twitter and on Facebook at Munchkins Gaming. Leave down in the comments below as well if you are planning to pull for this banner. Let me know down in the comments below. This is Munchkins logging off, and I'll see you guys in the next level.